Welcome to this short training on the Affordable Connectivity Program, or ACP, specifically intended for service providers and is being provided by altafiber. This video will walk you through the basics of the program and help you assist the public in learning about and enrolling in this program. Before we get started, please note that Cincinnati Bell has changed its name. The company is now called altafiber. We are the same company, but focus completely on offering the fastest, most reliable internet connection available. The recent pandemic has taught us that internet access has never been more critical. If it's connecting kids to learning, managing finances, or even keeping up with healthcare, internet access has become a requirement to successfully navigate our modern world. The US government realizes this, which is why they launched the Affordable Connectivity Program, or ACP. ACP is a nationwide program introduced by the Federal Communications Commission that helps low-income households afford to pay for home internet service that they need for work, school, healthcare, and more. This is a government-run program, and there are many providers around the country, including altafiber, that are providing this service. Your applicant may obtain this service from any participating provider of their choosing and can also transfer their ACP benefit to another provider at any time. So what does a participant get when they enroll in the ACP program? There are two options. The first is that any eligible household can receive a Fioptics connection of up to 100 megabits per second for free. Fioptics is our fiber optic network, which is the fastest, most reliable service anywhere in the country. We say up to 100 megabits per second because we know that the network varies across our service area. For some households, they may get a slower speed, but still the fastest available to their household. How fast is 100 megabits per second? It's fast enough to support multiple devices doing multiple tasks. It should be sufficient for the basic needs of a family. If they already have internet access at home, they can decide to take advantage of the second option, $30 off any level of broadband service that altafiber offers, based on availability. Broadband internet is usually best for families, but can be applied to cell phone service instead if they'd like. The ACP program is limited to one monthly service discount per household. How is a household determined? We've put a link below in the description with the US government's definition of a household. So how does one qualify for the ACP? There are a number of ways, the first of which is through household income. If a household makes 200% or less of the federal poverty guidelines, they immediately qualify. This table shows what the 200% limit of the 2022 federal poverty guidelines looks like based on the number of people in the household. Please note that these guidelines change every year. So if you're watching this in 2023 or later, be sure to click on the link in the description to see the latest guidelines. The second way to qualify is if anyone in the household participates in any number of federal programs, such as SNAP, Medicaid, WIC, and others. This even includes a child that qualifies for the free and reduced price school lunch program. The participant may need to show a card, letter, or official document as proof that they participate in one of these programs when they apply. To see a full list of these qualifying programs, click on the eligibility guidelines link in the description. Another way to qualify is if anyone in the household already participates in the Lifeline program. This program from the federal government makes communications more affordable for low-income consumers. The participant should know if they participate already, and if they do, they don't need to apply again. They can take advantage of both the Lifeline and ACP programs in the same household and can even be stacked on top of each other. The last way to qualify is that the participant's household lives on a qualifying tribal lands or participates in qualifying tribal assistance programs. Again, the participant should know if they qualify in this way. For more details, click on the eligibility guidelines link in the description. Now let's talk about how to apply. Go to altafiber.com/ACP to start the process. Step 1 will be to apply for qualification through the U.S. government. Step 2 will be to fill out the ACP enrollment application. And step 3, once approved, service will be set up and the applicant can start saving money. For the first step, scroll down the page until you see something that says Step 1, Apply. Click on the Apply Now button, which will take you to the FCC's website. Please note that Lifeline participants can skip this step completely and go to Step 2. Now let's look at the portal they will apply through. Here's what the government's qualification page looks like. We'll click on the Apply Now button to begin the qualification process. Again, if the applicant already participates in the Lifeline program, they do not need to apply again. Once Apply Now is selected, the applicant will enter their full legal name and date of birth. Except for Social Security number, all other identity verification requires uploading a photo or a scanned copy of their ID. We do recommend, if possible, to stick with the Social Security number because it doesn't require anything to be uploaded, if possible. They will also enter the address where the service will be provided. The applicant can then select whether they qualify themselves or if they qualify through a child or a dependent. Once complete, click Next to continue. If the applicant is qualifying based on their child or dependent, they will have to enter the child or dependent's full legal name and date of birth. They'll also need to provide an ID. Again, the same as before, we recommend that you use the Social Security number because that doesn't require anything to be uploaded. For any other identity verification, it requires that a photo or scanned copy is uploaded. Once complete, click Next to continue. The applicant will then create an account by selecting a username and password following the rules shown. They will also provide their email address, if they have one, and their phone number. Finally, they get to select their preferred language between English and Spanish. And then once complete, they'll click on I am not a robot and then hit submit. Once they've done this correctly, they'll see a screen that says, you've created your National Verifier account. Click Close to continue. And you'll be taken to the sign-in page where the applicant will be asked to sign in again using the username and password they just created. Once logged in, the applicant will start their ACP application. Note, do not click on the Start a Lifeline application. This is a different program. Instead, continue scrolling down and click on the Apply for ACP button to begin the ACP application. The first screen in the application is where the applicant will be asked how they believe they qualify for the program. There are many options. The applicant can then select one of the boxes that they believe best represents why they qualify. Tip here is to pick a program where the applicant has readily available documentation to prove that they're part of that program. Note that the programs are all listed towards the top, but towards the bottom it says, I don't participate in one of these programs. I just qualify through my income, or that they don't participate in any of these programs, but their child or dependent is in one of those programs. So just have them select the box that's most appropriate and hit Next. Once the qualification method has been selected, the applicant will confirm that the info they have on file is correct. If it isn't, they can click Edit and make the changes here. By clicking the box here shown, the applicant agrees to allow the FCC to conduct the investigation to determine qualification. Click on Submit to continue. In this last page here, the applicant will give various initials in various boxes stating that they agree to the rules or tell them the truth, etc. There's quite a few of these, so just have the applicant fill in their initials in each one of these boxes. And then at the very end, the applicant will sign the page by typing in their signature. Click on Submit to finish the process. Once the application is successfully submitted, the applicant will receive a confirmation email like this one shown. And once the verification process in totality is complete, the applicant will receive an email letting them know that the National Verifier Subscriber Application ID has been confirmed and they are indeed qualified. Save this number because it'll be needed later. If the participant prefers, they can apply by mail or in person. To apply by mail, they can download the application form from the US government site. The link is in the description. Once downloaded, they can fill it out, print it, and send it to the US government. They must also include any proof of eligibility, such as being part of, say, WIC or SNAP, as an example. And they need to provide that with the application. They can send the form and proof to the address shown. To apply in person, go to the nearest altafiber retail store for assistance. Applying by phone is currently not available. Now we move on to step 2, to fill out the ACP enrollment application. Back on the altafiber.com/ACP page, you'll see a step in the middle that says step 2, enroll and claim. Just click on the Get Started button to begin. Now we have different processes for existing customers versus new customers. So let me talk first about existing customers. They'll see a screen like this where they'll be asked if they're existing or new. So they'll just select existing customer. And then they'll be asked to log in. This will be their login information that they use to log into their account for altafiber. They'll then see an enrollment form. Some of this information might be pre-populated depending on what's in their account, but we'll definitely need the FCC National Verifier ID that was provided to them. And then date of birth, address, etc., email, phone, and then they can either apply the discount to current service they have today, or they can be contacted by somebody from the company to look at adding internet service. So they'll hit continue, and then that'll be pretty much it for existing customers. For new customers, it's a little bit different. New customers will see that same screen again, but this time they'll select, I'm a new altafiber customer, and they'll fill in their first name, last name, email, phone number, and hit continue. Then they'll add their address, which will allow us to see what service is available to where they live. And they'll see 3 boxes show up. On the left is internet, in the middle is internet plus TV, and on the right is home phone service. More than likely, they probably just want internet, so that's what they select on the very left and hit continue. And then they'll fill out a short form with some additional information. Again, we'll need the application ID from the National Verifier, but they'll fill in any other information that's not populated already. And after that, they'll be asked to sign a DocuSign form. The form will be pre-populated with the information they had already filled in earlier. So all they have to do is sign. Once they sign, we'll just let the applicant know that we're processing the request. And then hopefully they'll get a signal here that they finished signing and that we're good to go. So once they've completed all that, then for existing customers, the discount will be applied directly to their monthly bill. For new customers, once the DocuSign form is completed, they'll be contacted by somebody from the company within 1 or 2 business days to set up their service. Some things to know. Participation in the ACP is contingent upon your successful completion of the National Verifier Qualification process. The benefit is limited to one household and is not transferable. If the bill isn't paid for 90 consecutive days, altafiber may disconnect the service. Participants must use the internet service at least once within a 45-day period. Annual recertification will be required by the US government. If this program ends, the household will be transitioned to altafiber's undiscounted rates in general terms. There is no fee to disconnect the service. And finally, as mentioned at the beginning, the participant may obtain any ACP-supported broadband service from any participating provider of their choosing. They may also transfer their ACP benefit to another provider at any time. There is a limit of one transfer per 30 days. If you have questions about the verification process, feel free to contact the US government directly via email or phone. For answers to other questions, you can visit the altafiber.com/ACP page and check out our frequently asked questions. Thank you very much for your time and have a great day.